Greetings and welcome to GT Visits. Join us today as we take a look around a fairy tale village in North Wales. Welcome to Portmeirion. Portmeirion is a tourist village on the edge of Snowdonia, North Wales. It is inspired by the atmosphere of the Mediterranean and the Italian Riviera. The architect of Portmeirion was Northamptonshire-born Sir Clough Williams Ellis. His life work of creating a breathtakingly enchanting retreat began in 1925. He passed away in 1978 at the grand age of 94. Portmeirion became owned by a charitable trust. 20 years later, a firework display was held at Portmeirion. Some of his ashes were launched in a rocket so that he remains in his beloved village of Portmeirion. The site of Portmeirion was originally a private estate called Aber. Some buildings were already present, but Sir Clough soon started adding more. Some of the buildings are wholly or partially salvaged from demolition sites elsewhere. Sir Clough described Portmeirion as a home for fallen buildings. The town hall is a Grade 1 listed building. Several of the buildings are decorated with murals and frescoes by the Frankfurt-born artist Hans Feibusch. The architecture is often described as picturesque and romantic with playful absurdities. There is something to see just about everywhere. Statues, corbels, and whimsical details abound. It's a dream world, brim full of surprises. Sir Clough's eldest daughter, Susan Williams Ellis, was the founder of Portmeirion Pottery in 1960. They still produce souvenirs for the Portmeirion gift shop and now include the brands Spode and Royal Worcester. Portmeirion has been used extensively as a filming location. Most notably, it provided the backdrop for the 1960s cult classic series, The Prisoner. The Prisoner is about a British intelligence agent who is abducted and imprisoned in a mysterious but beautiful coastal village. The residents of the village are never known by their name. They each have an assigned number. The village is a place of mind control, manipulation, secrecy, and coercion. Although residents are free to move around, monitoring is constant and leaving the village is forbidden. Fans of The Prisoner hold an annual convention at Portmeirion. The next convention is due to be held in April 2024. Portmeirion has many more claims to fame. Brian Epstein was a frequent visitor, as well as Sir Paul McCartney. George Harrison spent his 50th birthday at Portmeirion. George Bernard Shaw and H.G. Wells were early visitors to Portmeirion. Noel Coward, the playwright, wrote A Blithe Spirit whilst staying at Portmeirion. Other famous visitors include Ingrid Bergman, Gregory Peck, and Jules Holland. Jules was so impressed by Portmeirion that he had his home and studio in Blackheath built to a design inspired by Portmeirion. Portmeirion has featured in the music of Altered Images, as well as Susie and the Banshees. It also hosted a music festival from the year 2012 to 2018. Portmeirion has been used as a location for Doctor Who, Citizen Smith, Cold Feet, and was even the town of Wigglyville in the CBeebies series Gigglebees. The video for All Right by the 90s band Supergrass heavily features locations in Portmeirion. It also has some unsubtle hints of the prisoner. Portmeirion has extensive gardens with lawns, flower beds and specimen trees. Of particular importance are the extensive collection of rhododendrons, which date from before the village and Sir Clough. The gardens include a restored Victorian walled garden, an exotic Japanese garden, and 70 acres of woodland. Portmeirion is open daily throughout the year to day visitors. It is also a resort with 2 hotels and a spa. Many of the buildings serve as self-catering cottages as well as village rooms. There are, of course, several bars, cafes and restaurants, alongside a number of gift shops. Portmeirion also caters for weddings, celebrations and corporate functions. Portmeirion is on the estuary of a river which flows from the hills north of Festiniog. The river joins the sea at Trimadog Bay south of Porthmadog. The estuary beside Portmeirion is tidal and reveals golden sands when the tide is low. There are hidden caves and gullies to be discovered and explored. Is it a boat? No, it's a super lump of concrete. Sir Clough bought a trading ketch, the Reunis, which he moored at the quay of Portmeirion. She served as a houseboat until she became stranded in the estuary. Sir Clough built this stone boat beside the Hotel Portmeirion in memory of the original Reunis. If you've visited Portmeirion, do let us know in the comments below. Click like if you like, and don't forget to subscribe, it really does help the channel. Thanks for watching, see you soon, farewell, goodbye, Whelvhour, and have a grand tour!